Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with a True Believer video. That's basically anyone who just wants to put their video up to kind of get word out about it. And Mr. E 2099 asked, and sure, here you go. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you like his video, by all means, go on over to his YouTube channel, subscribe. The link is in the description below. Easy peasy. Kick back, relax, and here we go.
Hello everyone, this is Mr. E 2099, and today I have a special treat for you. It's a video I've been trying to make for quite a while now, but life happens. Today I have a manga recommendation and comic reviews and recommendations, so please sit back and enjoy. The first up is the manga, of course, and today's recommendation is the Kindeji Case Files. It's a really great murder mystery manga. The character is Hajime Kindeji, and we're first introduced to him as a slacker, someone who goofs off, skipped class, but it turns out that he is highly intelligent, very good at magic tricks, sleight of hand, things like that, and it turns out that he is the grandson of a famous Japanese detective called Kindeji Kosuke. And it turns out that he also has a talent for detective work. The series is just him, unfortunately, being found in situations where he's with a group of people and a murder ensues. It's kind of like an Agatha Christie novel where it's a bunch of people in a remote place. They're kind of stuck there together, and then a murder happens, and they have to find out who the killer is. It's a really great book. There are some comedic moments in it. The way the murders are committed and the motivation behind them are always really interesting to see and read, and how he finds the evidence and works out who the killer is. But I do want to give a fair bit of warning that there is some nudity in this book, and some of the depictions of murder can be a bit brutal. So it's not something I would recommend to children, but if you're older, like, say, a teenager or an adult, this is something I would recommend. It's a great read if you like that type of murder mystery genre. So, yeah, the Kindeji Case Files, something you should definitely check out. We have comic books, and we're starting off with The Curse of Brimstone, the next title in the new age of DC heroes. And this book is a bit different from the other first that we've gotten. There's not really a lot of action. The character doesn't even get his powers until the end of the book. But it's really just world building and showing us the character's motivation and showing us his supporting cast. The main character comes from a coal mining town, and it's a type of town where it's based around one single industry, and once that industry dries up, jobs close down, people start moving out, and unfortunately, not everybody can afford to just pick up and move to a new town. And that's where our character comes in. He's unfortunately stuck in this town that's slowly dying. He's finding it very difficult to, get money to stay afloat. He has to help his sister and his father, who ended up hurting himself on the job and is on disability. And he really just gets frustrated with life because he's trying very hard, but none of his efforts seem to be really coming to fruition. And he's got this beat up crap car, and he's driving down the road, and unfortunately it breaks down. It's like another pilot crap got dumped on him, and that's when he meets up with a guy who we learn very early on is either the devil or a demon. Anyway, he's there to make a deal with the main character. The main character just wants the town to be vibrant and alive, and people could have jobs. He really wants to just bring the town back to life, make it a place where people will want to come again. and they strike this deal, and then his body starts changing and transforming and erupting. There's fire surrounding him, and it's actually the demon that gives him his name. So because this is a coal mining town, he's going to call him Brimstone. And it seems that Brimstone is not the only person that he's made a deal with. Earlier in the book, the demon is confronted by a police officer, and we see someone else who looks very similar to the depiction of Brimstone here, except that person ends up covering the cop in ice. So that's going to be interesting to see, learn more about who that character is, why this devil is here making deals, and how this is going to affect Brimstone, his family, and his town. I know some people might not like it because there's not nearly as much action in it as compared to the other first issues like Silencer or, like the Terrifics. But, this is a really good book. It's a good setup book. And I really look forward to them building on this character and its mythos as time goes on. So check out Curse of Brimstone #1. Next we have a really good issue, Deathstroke versus Batman, Deathstroke #30. This is set up to a really good arc. These are two characters that, I've always seen as kind of like perfect antagonists to one another. Both highly trained, both at the peak, or in Deathstroke's case, a bit beyond physical human condition. And the notion of those two going to war, it's a really great idea, and Christopher Priest executes it really well. As you can see on the cover, it says, "The lie that changes everything." The whole reason that these two were headed on a collision course is because of a lie. Now, you may have already heard this. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't. But, yeah, the lie is something that is actually pretty important to Batman. And it's something that you can understand why he's not letting it go. Why is this something that he's not going to, give up until he's, satisfied with the answer that he finds. But the thing is, Deathstroke is trying to avoid a conflict with Batman. Not because he's afraid of Batman, but it's more like this is something that it's not beneficial to him. Deathstroke doesn't gain anything from going to war with Batman, so he doesn't want it, but Batman's really the one that is holding on to this and kind of driving the conflict between them. There's a lot of good action in this book. We see both of their uses of technology going against one another. Batman interfering with the artificial intelligence in Deathstroke's suit, while Deathstroke shuts down some of Batman's gadgets. It's also really going to be interesting to see how they compete on a physical hand-to-hand level. Deathstroke probably has the advantage, not only being a super soldier, but also that he's willing to kill and Batman isn't. But even so, it's Batman, so you can't write him off completely, ever. Anyway, Christopher Priest's writing, as always, is really good. He really sets up the book well. It starts out with this really great conversation between Alfred Pennyworth and William Wintergreen, kind of like the sidekicks to Batman and Deathstroke, respectively. They're talking about soccer, well, football, since they're English, and they're talking about, how many times they've been dragged over the line by the two guys that they're trying to watch out for and protect, and how that no matter how many times they do it, they still feel that it's their responsibility to save them, even from themselves and from each other in this, inevitable conflict. But yeah, Deathstroke number 30 is the setup to a really good arc, and I'm really interested to see how this continues and eventually concludes. So yeah, this has been my manga and comics reviews and recommendations. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Mr. E2099, and I will see you all later.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. E2099. If you like what you see here, go on over to his channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to do that here as well. Hit that notification bell because cool things happen around these parts, especially every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time when we do Comic Book Thunderdome, putting two geeks against each other to argue the arguments and fight the fights you may have in any comic book shop and comic book forum. Also, this is the way to make a living, so if you don't mind heading on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep making videos for you and help us keep getting better equipment and better software to make better videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.